There appears to have been a run in the ravine recently, and it was really nice to see all these little inspirational messages throughout the route. Good morning. It is bright and early on a Monday, and I am getting a long walk in before I have my breakfast and before I start my work day. For breakfast, I'm having my usual cauliflower oatmeal with fresh fruit on top, raisins and walnuts. And then I have my instant coffee with soy milk and cinnamon. I have here some red bell pepper, some mushrooms, some onion, my crumbled extra firm tofu, and some yellow potatoes. I'm making a big batch. I can eat this for lunch again tomorrow. That's one whole pack of tofu over there. I'm starting with the veggies. You can cook those down a little bit. If they start to stick at any point, I will add a little bit of water to the pan. I have a little bit of corn left in the freezer, so I'm adding that, and I will add frozen corn to my shopping list. I have some steamed potatoes here. Chop those up. There's the tofu. Paprika. Don't be stingy with the seasoning because you'll need to add more. Chili powder. Onion powder. Garlic powder, turmeric, and black pepper. We let that hang out for about 5 minutes, and I'll stir it once or twice. For an eggy flavor, I'm adding this black salt, which I picked up on Amazon. And I'm going to turn off the heat. I'll give this another stir, and then it'll be ready. My baby hairs are wild. Here's the tofu scramble. and it is delicious. I just love tofu. I really, really love it. Last time I made tofu scramble, I stuffed it inside the potatoes. You could also eat it on toast if you like. This time I decided to put the potatoes inside. You could add hot sauce, pickled jalapenos, whatever your heart desires. We have beautiful apples coming out of the orchards here in Ontario right now. These are called Paula Red, and I think those would be good for baking. So I picked up some of those. I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna make with them. And over here we have Honey Crisp. I'm going to have one of those right now, but first I'm gonna make a sauce to dip them in. In the Magic Bullet, I have about a cup of pitted dates, quarter cup of water, and a splash of vanilla. I'm going to add some cinnamon and blend it up and see what happens. I've never made this before, so I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but I am going to add some peanut butter powder after to thicken it up. I already tasted this and it is heavenly, but I still want to add a little bit of peanut butter powder just to take it to the next level. This tastes very decadent. Definitely not something you want to overeat on, because remember there is a whole cup of dates in here, but definitely good for dipping. Maybe you could put it on pancakes or make some little tarts with a walnut oat crust. I feel like I'm going to be eating a lot of this season. I wonder if you could mix it in your coffee. Would it separate? Maybe I'll have to give that a try. Dipping was too dangerous, so I put some on the apples just so I could control my portion a little better. And you could thin that out too and drizzle it on something. So many possibilities. We think we finally know the reason why our bird flew away for weeks and months at a time. She came home with this little baby bird. And she won't leave its side. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to go for a walk at lunch today, and it's 7 o'clock, so it's basically dinner time. I'm gonna go for a walk now, and then I prepared some ingredients so I can make a vegetable soup as soon as I return. I will add these things and probably lentils as well. I also have some beets here in a pot, which I want to steam, but I'm not gonna let that happen while I'm out of the house, so they're ready and I'll just turn that on as soon as I return. I have returned from my walk. It was about 30 minutes and I'm ready to start my dinner. Starting with the vegetables over medium-high, I'm going to cook them until they're translucent, adding some water to prevent sticking if necessary. I found a bunch of other things in my fridge and freezer. These are broad beans. They look like they've been in the freezer for a while. Some peas, sugar snap peas, zucchini, and cabbage. I'm going to throw all of those things into the pot. I don't know if I have enough room. I might have to switch pots at some point. I have a vegetable bouillon cube there. It does have salt and oil, but this is what I can find, so this is what I'm using. I think I want this to have a tomato flavor to it, so I'm going to use some tomato paste. I have some brown lentils here. I'll allow this to simmer for a bit until the lentils are almost done, and then I'll go in with the kale and finally the potatoes. The potatoes are already cooked. You could use potatoes that are not cooked and throw them in now, but since my potatoes are already cooked, I don't want them to break up too much, so those will be probably the last thing I add. I'm also making a little salad to go along with my soup. I have some greens there. This kale is for the soup, but I think I'm going to chop up some of it and add it to the salad. I have a pepper, and in here I have some hummus, tahini, pomegranate molasses, and lemon juice. The soup is simmering away, and doesn't that look delicious? The lentils aren't ready yet, so I'm not ready to add the kale. But when the lentils are ready, that will be my next step. The lentils are tender enough, so I'm going in with the kale. Some black pepper. The only seasoning I really have in here is that bouillon cube, so I'm gonna give this a taste and see if I need to add a little bit of salt maybe. Salt is always optional, of course. It's actually salty enough for my taste. Finally, I'm adding the potatoes, and as soon as those heat through, the soup will be ready. I think I'd like to have something sour in my salad, so I have these pickled vegetables that I made a long time ago. You see, it's broccoli and cucumbers, garlic. I'll throw a few of those on there. Still crispy. They've been in the fridge for quite some time, months even. I'm gonna add some of these because I probably should be eating this regularly for iodine, right? It's not my favorite. unless it's in sushi, but I'll just put it on top and maybe I'll eat that part first. The beets are also done, but I'll probably save those for tomorrow. I made a fresh batch of these banana peanut butter oat balls. And this is how I'm ending my evening. I didn't go for any walks after dinner, so I'm glad I went for one before. I just ran out of time. By the time I was done cleaning the kitchen and all the things, it's about 10:30, and I don't feel like doing anything else. I have some of that date dip that I made. I'm gonna add milk. I'm going to froth it up. Now I'm adding warm coffee. It seems okay. It doesn't look separated to me. I didn't add too much. There's a hint of sweetness and I can definitely taste the cinnamon. Not bad. Not bad at all. Good morning. It's a few days later, and once again, I'm starting my day with an early morning walk. This is my favorite tree in the entire ravine. Gorgeous. I ended up going to Costco before breakfast. I got some fruit, some veggies, some pistachios, and a small thing of milk because my daughter likes that in her coffee. If you've watched any of my other videos, it's no surprise that I'm having my cauliflower oatmeal for breakfast. I'll leave the link to this recipe in the description as usual in case you want to make your own. And then I have here a hot coffee with soy milk and cinnamon. Oh, and some nutmeg. Come. Okay, nobody poop. Nobody make a poo-poo, okay? Could do that later. I want to make some tofu in the air fryer, but the air fryer is dirty, so I have to clean the air fryer before I can make my lunch. Let's do that. I'm so glad we went with this big sink. It makes washing things like this very easy. I'll go ahead and dry that and then we'll get going on some tofu. I got this kale blend from Costco, so I'm gonna make a salad out of that. And then at another store that I was at the other day, I found this pressed tofu. I don't normally press my tofu. This feels like extra firm. So I'm curious to see what the texture on that's gonna be. I'm making the easiest dressing for the salad, which is just hummus and lemon juice. And I'm going to make the salad first because I feel like the kale and cabbage will be better, easier to chew if I let it sit in the dressing while the tofu cooks. salad is marinating in the dressing, and I will start cutting up that tofu. This tofu is very firm. Look at that. I have a feeling this is going to be good, but I hope I can find it again. It's the first time I'm seeing it. I cut up 2 squares. I'll save the other 2 for tomorrow. Marinating with some soy sauce and some nutritional yeast. And that's how simple I'm keeping it for today. I'm going to shake it up, pop it in the air fryer about 10 minutes at 400 Fahrenheit. While the air fryer is going, I'm going to add a little bit more to my salad, starting with some cucumbers. I can smell that tofu already. Have some red pepper here. The tip is not looking so hot. I got these. I'm not sure how they're gonna taste in this salad with the olives, but I'm going for it anyway. Okay, and now we're just waiting for the tofu. Let's see how it's looking after 8 minutes. Ooh, look at that. I'm gonna let it keep going for the full 10. Are you ready for it? Look at that, I'm so excited. This is what my dreams are made of. Kale is so hard to eat, but it is very delicious. The texture of the tofu, it's definitely more firm. It's drier. I realize what this tofu reminds me of, and that is Emmental cheese. It's spongy, it's dry, it's cheesy, and I don't just mean like nutritional yeast cheesy. It's like, I can't explain it. It just tastes like Emmental and it feels like Emmental. And I used to be a huge cheese lover, so I would buy this again just for that reason, just because it reminds me of cheese. I have 1 banana peanut butter oat ball left. I'm going to eat this and then I'm going to go for a walk. That construction is very loud and it starts around probably 6 or 7 in the morning. I'm going to have a few pistachios before I head out. And I think I've been eating way too many of these because I've only lost 1 pound in the past about 2 weeks. At least things are still going in the right direction, but I think it's slowing down because I have a little bit of a pistachio addiction going on. Even his shadow is handsome. It seems like we're not only having multiple seasons in 1 week, we are having multiple seasons in 1 day. This morning, I felt like I needed gloves when I was walking out here, and now I'm a little hot. Tonight for dinner, I am just throwing together a plate of random things, starting with some Brussels sprouts. I also have these corn tortillas. I'm basically just pulling things out of the fridge that have been there a while and need to be used up. I thought I would heat up 2 of these, and then I'll make one like with a hummus base, and I'll put some stuff on it, some savory items. And then one will have peanut butter with maybe some bananas and raspberries. I'm not sure yet. Let me heat them up first, and then we'll see what we can find to put on top. Okay, my tortillas are warm. I heated them up in a pan and started chopping the other stuff. Kind of forgot about them. So it's okay. I'm still going to eat them. And then I have a plate of toppings here. It's kind of like a dinner and dessert all in one. I've got some peanut butter here, not peanut butter powder, actual peanut butter. And I'm only going to use a small amount, about a teaspoon. Okay, so that's the peanut butter. And then I have some of the caramelized onion hummus. Have about a tablespoon of that one. I just love hummus as a spread, as a dressing, dip. It's good for everything. Okay, so for the peanut butter one, I have some bananas. I have some raspberries because I like to have something sour with all the sweet going on from the peanut butter and the banana. You could do the same thing on rice cakes if you wanted, but I just had these tortillas sitting there and they needed to be used, so here we are. Okay, now for the hummus one, I have some onion. I have some olives. And I have some sun-dried tomatoes that were packed in oil. I rinsed them and I just dried them a little bit with a paper towel. I just love the taste of sun-dried tomatoes. I have some baby carrots, which I suppose I could have cooked with the Brussels sprouts, but I just thought of it. And the Brussels sprouts are already ready, so I'm just going to eat the carrots raw. Mm. I really like Brussels sprouts. They're sweet and tender. And I think that's probably enough food to fill me up. Once again, it's later than I would like to be eating dinner. It's past 7 o'clock. It's more like 8:30. My tortillas are not really that crispy anymore now that I put the toppings on. That's really delicious though. Might be easier to eat as a taco. Mm. I love everything about this. The onions, a little bit crispy. Got the sourness from the olives. That's good. I'm actually going to eat these first before I continue with the tortillas. And that's it for me tonight. I think I'll just have a cozy cup of bamboo coffee substitute, and maybe I'll watch some YouTube or do some sewing. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future uploads.